I just saw Judas and the Black Messiah, and while I wish things were done a little differently, I actually enjoyed it. I was expecting to hate it, but I didn't. Lakeith Stanfield, he stole the show. He did an unbelievable job, and he definitely was the star of the movie. I was expecting to hate Daniel Kaluuya. What is his name? Kaluuya? I think it's Kaluuya. I was expecting to hate him as Hampton, but I didn't. I don't hate Kaluuya as an actor. I think he's a great actor, actually, but I didn't see him in the role. Just the way he looks, and the way he talks. I didn't really see him in the role. And besides me not being able to understand him, because I couldn't understand everything that he was saying, and it was annoying me. Other than that, I think he did a great job. I wish the filmmakers would have focused on certain things more, because it seems like they either just breezed through certain important things or they didn't mention them at all. But all in all, I was actually happy with the movie. The reason I'm making this is because it's time to say something that I've wanted to say for a long time. I hate the jealous, racist, cock-gobbling losers that run this planet. This is the reason why whites are doing better than blacks. It has nothing to do with black people being lazy or inferior, and it has everything to do with the unfair, unequal, racist system that whites put in place in this country. We as blacks constantly have a fucking target on our backs, and entire groups who work to sabotage us while assisting or ignoring white criminals. I talked about this briefly in my video about that ass face Rudy Giuliani. And just what I'm about to bring up is just one quick example. It's another example. So we all know the struggles that blacks have gone through in this country, and we're always told that it's our fault and we just need to stop being lazy, stop committing crimes, and pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. But we all know that that's a lie. Whenever blacks do start to change their position on their own, the government comes in and attacks us for no reason. We've seen this in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But let's fast forward to the 1960s. So in the 60s, blacks started a movement to not only get some much-deserved rights for themselves, but to also organize themselves as a people nationwide so that we can start to better our lives on our own. As a result of blacks trying to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, the United States government started a campaign to infiltrate, divide, distract, destroy, and pacify all of the movements that blacks started in order to help themselves. For 10 years, the Federal Bureau of Investigation spent most of their time and money sabotaging anything that blacks did. They even went as far as illegally executing men who had committed no crimes, men who did nothing but give speeches, men like Martin, Malcolm, Medgar, and Fred, all executed during the 1960s. All these men tried to do was create a better life for blacks, and our white-run government thought that this was something that needed all of their time and attention. There wasn't anything else that they should have been focusing on. Of course, you had all the organized white crimes being committed all throughout our fucking country. White men and women committing all kinds of heinous acts. Things like prostitution, murder, robbery, blackmail, illegal gambling, bribery, and of course the sale of drugs. All of this had been going on for decades, but the white men and women who run our country thought that black people trying to create a better life for themselves was worse than all that. So they spent their time destroying our communities, sabotaging anything that we do, and executing our leaders. The FBI spent all their time and resources monitoring and surveilling blacks in the 1960s. It wasn't until 1970 that the RICO Act was put into place and America started using their resources to go after actual criminals. That disturbs the shit out of me. Instead of going after the mafia, they decided men like Martin Luther King Jr., a man who spoke of people being united, was a bigger issue, so they needed to follow him and monitor him and kill him. That's what white people think of black people. You having a good life and bettering yourself is more of a threat to them than organized groups robbing them and killing them. They'll deal with their friends and families being murdered so long as they can make sure you don't have a good life. That's how much white people hate blacks. And if you're a black person and you're not doing something about this, then it's disgusting, sad, and pathetic. Men like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, and Fred Hampton sacrificed their lives for you, and you won't do anything to honor their sacrifice. By playing dumb and continuously propping up whites and their systems, you're saying fuck you to all the black men and women like Harriet Tubman who knowingly put their lives on the line for you. It's sickening that after all the crap that blacks have gone through and are still going through, We just keep supporting and propping up this white-run society. You have to do something to fight back. Do something. If you want to be heard and taken seriously, then there's only one thing that you can do. Marching, protesting is stupid, fucking nonsensical garbage, and it's a waste of time. It's just a bunch of idiots getting together with signs and placards, taking a walk, and hanging out and having fun. It doesn't accomplish anything. You have to affect the people that actually matter. You have to get the attention of the men and women who control our government via bribes. You have to stop shopping. Big conglomerates like Authentic Brands Group LLC profited off of the slave trade and used that money to grow into this huge mega corporation that owns companies like Sports Illustrated, Nautica, Nine West, and Juicy Couture. I don't even know the name of this shit. So when you spend your money with these companies, you're saying you're okay with the people who profited off of slavery. You're propping up people who used your ancestors like cattle. You also have big banks like Chase and Bank of America who also profited off the slave trade. And they use these profits to fund other big companies that you prop up. Companies whose names you don't even know, but you blindly go into them every weekend and you spend all the money that you made the week before. So not only will you be punishing these companies by pulling your money, but you'll also get their attention. Once you get their attention, then you can start making demands, like telling them that you want our government to pay out reparations. Compensate the very people who have been systematically held in place by a government that gained its power from our blood, sweat, tears, and lives. So some people sarcastically ask me, how should they live if they have to stop shopping? Easy. Just change your shopping methods. Instead of doing your grocery shopping at big box stores like Kroger or Publix, go to farmers markets or small mom and pop shops. You just alter the way that you spend your money. Stop sharing your money with these big corporations. It's the only way to get the attention of the people who control our government and to finally finish what people like Martin and Malcolm started. I promise you that if enough of us stop shopping and pull our money from these big, well-known companies, the owners of these companies will demand that our politicians do what they need to get us to start spending money again. Once that happens, that's when your demands will be taken seriously. That's where we can start to make policy changes that will move us from the bottom and put us in an equal position with everyone else. Please spread this message and try to convince the people you know that if you want any real change, you have to get the attention of the people that matter by pulling your money away from them. You want a governor to make sure that a white supremacist who killed a black person gets properly punished? You have to get the attention of the people who bribe and control that governor. You only do that by affecting their profits, and you're only doing that by pulling your money. Stop shopping.